which there's literally, I don't think there's anybody in here yet. So I've been a little busy. What's going on, Ruben? Yeah, got myself a new van finally. Finally, long overdue. How you doing, Joe? Yeah, it looks real nice because I don't have hardly anything in it yet. What's up, guys? Jacob, Hunter. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's my first time ever doing a live on YouTube. I'm more of a film and edit kind of guy. This going by the seat of my pants gets me anxiety here, but so Jacob, you got a full-size Transit too? Yeah, this is the 250, so it's 3 feet longer, I guess, than the basic, the standard size. So, but it's not the high roof, it's the regular. What's up, everybody? A whole bunch of y'all coming in here now. That's cool. Yo, can you guys hear me okay too? Again, I've never done these lives before. I don't know if the video quality's coming through right, or if you guys can hear me. Anything like that? Okay, cool. Cool. And I apologize if I'm a little shaky here. I'm just holding a cell phone. I'm used to having a little bit of a better setup here. So anyway, figured I'd show you guys a little bit before I really get deep into this thing, because this is going to be my project for the next probably week or two to get it, exactly how I want. I've never had a brand new van that I was just starting from scratch. I always got a hand-me-down, already banged up and not a lot of customization potential. So as you can see here, I got a lot to get in this thing, minus the power wheels. A lot of crap to go through and get there. So just kind of it looks, because it looks like I got a real just clean ass van. So yeah, look, they to me, this is one of the coolest upfit jobs. This shelving package from Adrian Steel is really pretty neat. I have a couple things I'm not crazy about with it, but there's way more that is just awesome. So check out in the back a little bit. I picked up this big ass first aid kit from Fastenal in a facility, slapped it on the back of my van. So see how that works out. Step bumper's great, Mike. Yeah, I've never had anything like that either. The shelves are bigger than the last kit I had. I want to say it's like 17-18 inches deep. So yeah, I'm getting paid, Matt. Well, they gave us 8 hours. They gave us 8 hours paid to do this, but I'll probably spend 96 hours, and I'm okay with that. I'm willing to put a little bit of time in on my own to have it exactly how I want it, and actually enjoy doing jobs that require using a lot of stuff, because I know where everything's at. So someone's up there in the window. Hey, buddy. That's my 18-month-old. So there, am I back on? It just said I got disconnected. You guys still able to see or hear me? I don't want to keep blabbing on because it just told me I was disconnected. Man, Jeff, it's like 68 here in Lexington right now. It feels amazing. You guys able to hear me though? So your Jacob, your step came off. Your little bump step came. Okay. Yeah, so I built up the charging station up on the side. It's got like 1,000, I think it's 1,000-watt inverter, which is awesome. I've got my toolbox mounted here. It's a small toolbox. I don't need a whole lot with these drawers now. So, and what I did, I robbed a lot of the drawers from my old van, and I'm just screwing them down to stuff, and these all fit perfectly in there. I've got my Makita 12 volt and then my 2 Milwaukee chargers. I keep my little Makita impact right here with a little 1-hole strap. So far, and I may change a little bit of this, I'm going to keep the power tools in here. Just got sheet metal tools, pry bars, vice grips, and my smaller pipe wrenches, hammers, mallets, bunch of oddball tools that don't really fit into any category. And then I just keep a big container of fasteners and staples and stuff like that I can grab real quick if I need to grab a drill or an impact, something like that. So the bottom for now, keeping a couple of my kind of specialty tools and meters that you don't carry or use very often necessarily. Gloves and the foot covers. I got my Megger, one of my Megger. I got 2 Meggers. I got an analog here and I got the field piece one. The Daikin inverter analyzer, and that's a gateway tool for the, if any of you guys have ever done startups on York JCI rooftop equipment, that's kind of your interface. Gives you a hotspot to commission basically from your cell phone. So back here, my Cooper, blue box Cooper, give me wet bulb, dry bulb, think impact sockets, washers. And then I buy these kits from Fastenal. They just they've got these awesome hardware kits, you know, machine screws, nuts, bolts. These are insulated electrical terminals that you crimp, and then you can it's got heat shrink tubing on the back so you can seal it, regular heat shrink tubing. And that's my spin flare set, which I think they're junk, honestly. I've used them twice, and both times I had to cut the flares out and just use my flaring block. So maybe I just suck at it, but in the meantime, I can't be wasting time on jobs trying to use it. So this is my kit of just, these are all kinds of drywall anchors here. That's my 1/2-inch socket set. And then this big tote, it's just full of concrete anchors, every kind of concrete anchor you can imagine. Again, I can't harp on enough about those kits from Fastenal. I ended up putting them in a different kit, but these are like assorted machine parts, so stuff you'll probably rarely need, but when you need it, you need it. You know, grease fittings, flare washers, keyways, extra set screws, cotter pins, all kinds of stuff like that. Jeremy, I've got a tote with furnace parts that I keep in the keep at the house, and I change over in the winter time. So James Bond, the cab, I'll be honest, man, it's gonna take me a while to get used to the cab. I mean, it's very nice, you know, it's a very modern cab, but you sit really high up and with a little tiny like steering wheel way down low, I kind of feel, you feel like a bus driver. If you're just coming from the world that I am of the old school body styles of service vans, you know, there's no comparison as far as comfort goes. So we'll see. I guess I'll get used to it eventually, but you're definitely not going to be probably taking naps in this thing anytime soon. Hey, can you guys see anything? My screen's frozen. Before I start panning anymore and showing anything else, I want to make sure the picture ain't frozen. Okay. All right, I'm unfrozen. All right, so they also upfitted it with this really nice rack with these angled shelves, and these are Adrian steels. The van came with these, so it gave me what, five of these nice parts containers. This will be what I keep all my fittings, PVC, copper, black iron, you know, stuff like that. So because I already have bins for all the other kinds of stuff, electrical and brass fittings, I keep in here. So anyway, so far the back wall, I keep, you know, my cords, my ropes, and my garden hoses. I think I've got 125 feet of hose I keep. I don't carry much more. I can grab more hoses at the warehouse if I need them. To me, 125 is pretty sufficient for, you know, everyday carry on the van. And I roll them up real good, and then I take a big tie wrap and cinch them good in the middle. And they shrink up their profile, so you can really fit them in some tight spaces. So you can see, like, this is my 75 footer, and it fits down behind the cabinet real nice. And then my 50 footer is there behind the ropes and cords. And then in the middle, I keep my harness and, you know, arc flash helmet and gloves and that kind of stuff. There's the inverter. Well, that's the power strip coming off the inverter at the back. Gives me 6 outlets. I have not secured my bag yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I keep a box of rags there too. So anyway, and it came with this cabinet. I've never had a locker for refrigerant. I do now. I have a 50-pound recovery cylinder, and I think 2 cans of 410, 1 of 22. So I may have to mount my old type refrigerant rack, which I have in the garage, if I end up having room, so I can put, because I do have 134 and some of that hot shot stuff, and 407C I think, and 404A. So I don't really need them a lot, but a jumper cable video for the rookies, I could do that. If there's enough people that maybe need that, then we could get it together. So all right, we'll go ahead to the back here. What's going on, Isaiah? And again, let's see, does the locker have to be DOT approved? You know what, I'm not going to ask questions. If JCI went ahead and ordered that for an entire country worth of vans, they can have the liability of that, I guess. But gauges, I just got the 2 sets up here now. I'm trying out that P51 870, and just I got no problem with analogs, honestly. So I keep 2 sets usually in the van at a time. Cupcake probes are in the bag, Eric. I usually throw a zip tie at the bottom here, and I'll usually take those bendable rubber wraps, and I'll hook the manifold here, so they're not just hanging from the hook and slamming around. Over here, I don't know, I've got some chemicals in here. Really all I have in this is some wasp spray, degreaser, a whole bunch of this Coil Cleaner from Viper, which it is pretty good, guys. It's I've been using it. It's evaporator or condenser. For an aerosol cleaner like that in a can, it's pretty good. And the fact that I only have to carry one instead of, I used to carry the new Calgen, and I had to carry, you know, separate evaporator and condenser cleaners. This stuff though, this stuff's new Calgen. You get it at United, and if you can see, it's a pressurized leak spray. This stuff is freaking cool. It doesn't replace regular, you know, like I got the big blue there, but this stuff for certain applications, it's spring loaded. I don't know if you can see that. That's a plunger right there, and it's pressurized. You can see you only get a little bit. It's like half a can in there. But what's cool about it is it sprays upside down in this like real fine spray, like a, you see how fine that is? And that could do it straight up. I don't know if y'all saw that. So if you're in places where, you know, you're underneath something trying to spray straight up, and you don't want globs of big blue going in your mouth and nose, This stuff is really like precise and accurate for hard to reach areas. Again, I got that at United. Keep my Ergodyne umbrella here. This thing's been amazing. So I've put some pictures on Instagram of it before, and high vis, heavy duty, way easier to carry around than a pop-up, which I have Ergodyne's pop-up, but my God, it's heavy. So it needs to be somewhere I'm going to be all day if I'm going to break that thing out. But this thing, in the meantime, is super light, and you know, I don't need to explain why an umbrella can be helpful in our trade. The base is down there, fold out base. I don't have a lot of, like I said, I haven't gotten anything in my shelves yet, really. I did mention earlier in the video, I stole the drawers out of my old van, which was an express van, and I screwed them to the bottom of the shelf there. Jacob, I don't know. I'll have to look at that for you. I haven't even looked. I literally got this yesterday. Haven't looked at any of that yet. It feels like a 6-cylinder though. I know that much. I screwed them to the bottom so I can keep parts. I think as long as I'm keeping them not too piled high, that they'll hopefully not fall out too much, but we'll see. I've never done a setup like that with everything open, but it seems like a pretty low profile, and this lip is higher than these shelves. So I'll fill these up later on. And one thing I am doing, and I haven't secured them yet because I haven't figured out the configuration for sure, but I am going to put blocking between every case, and that way everything has its place. I did just get it, Gil. I got it yesterday at the end of the day. This way everything fits snug, and that gap, I mean, the gap doesn't mean anything, but it means I can pull from here and then drive away without putting it back, and everything's not going to just fall over. Because before, if you guys remember my old van, I had that framed out section where I kept all my cases on the deck, and it was cool. They fit snug, but if I pulled one out and didn't put it right back, that stuff would all just fall around, because they were the only thing giving themselves tension. So this way everything will stay snug, but also I don't have to necessarily put the case back if I leave it somewhere or something like that. I do the same thing over here for recovery, vacuum, that kind of thing. This is my big lockout tagout box. It's like my blower pulley hub kit. I got all my stuff to cut out bearings, replace bearings, pulleys, hubs, stuff like that. And nothing up in here too much yet. Like I said, I just figured I'd give everyone a Joe, I'm not standing up. This is not the high roof, so I'm a lot more comfortable than I was in the express van. I can sort of like crouch and walk through the aisle, but I'm 6'2½", I think. So yeah, I would need a Sprinter or something like that, or maybe the high roof Ford, which I'm not sure how high it is in the inside. The cab's nice. I mean, it's very modern, which I'm not used to. That's weird to get used to, having that right in the middle of the dash like that, not on the steering column. I don't have much in here yet. You know, I hang my little go bag right there. I lost a little bit of width on the express van. I had one of these boxes too, but it was twice as wide. So this is a lot more narrow, but the inverter does route to there and gives me 2 USBs and 3 outlets, 3 AC outlets. Shoot, I missed that comment. See, when I'm taking this video landscape, so new comments flash up, but then they disappear. So I know you said you liked something about the shelving, but I didn't hear the rest of what you said. Yeah, I don't love everything about the shelving. Like I said, I wish it had come with drawers, small drawers, and the depth of the shelves are so deep that I'm gonna have to put blocking in there, probably behind some of the stuff too, in order to keep everything from shifting backwards. I'm trying that right now. Oh, thanks, Joe. Okay. I like the shelving setup, but it doesn't leave much room to be able to walk up in the middle of the back. I like being able to get up the whole middle of the back. Well, like I said, I mean, were you referring to the shelving though? Because the shelving doesn't prevent me from standing up. It's the height of the roof. Shout out to Yosef Bisk. Let's see. Yeah, plenty of outlets and stuff like that. They did give me toggle switches for the inverter to toggle on all my auxiliary ports or outlets, stuff like that. Auxiliary input right here. Yep. So another first. You know, Pandora now in the van is freaking awesome. Yeah, some cool couple. You know, none of this is gonna be new to some of you guys. A lot of you guys, I'm late to the game on these new vans, so pardon my excitement, but some of these simple things like having an auxiliary port is like, it's amazing to me. So when did they start giving tool runners new vans? I don't know what to say to that. All right, let's see. The seats go back pretty far. Yeah, but again, you're so high up. It's an odd feeling. No, I haven't taken off any sweet jumps yet. I heard these things suck in the winter though, so I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm trying to think anything I didn't go over. I know a bunch of you have come in since I started. If you guys got any questions about what you're seeing, maybe you came in a little late, I can go over it again. I don't want to just be redundant though. Yeah, Gil, I can listen to podcasts too. That's right. The ladder rack. Okay, so they were supposed to have it ready, but I've got to set it up. It's I gotta undo this, pull it all the way out, and then oh, that's another thing I don't like. I gotta have the door closed to lower the rack, and then it does lower it all the way down. It's a Ford Transit 250. And then you just raise that all the way up. Yeah, Joe, I think rear wheel drive. It does have the step ladder there. I've got a 4-foot. I got to try to fit in there somewhere. I'm not sure how I'm going to set that up yet. Yeah, one thing I do like about these vans a lot is this lock here. So my doors, you know, they're held here with these pins. I can unlock that, open it all the way up, and then it takes on that magnet there. So you can really get some good room, full access. Donna loves it, Lee. Donna's not interested with shit I do at work, but she loves this van. Man, Total Tech, I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I figure I had to go live tonight. I haven't put a video out in 9 days or so, I think. It's a little too much, but one thing about me, guys, I have a hard time getting in some of these job sites where I can get away with filming. I really try to, and I get let down so often with it. So I end up having a maintenance guy that's glued to me, or stuff like that. And yeah, as you can see, I got quite a bit to go through left, so a lot of stuff. The yeah, this will be Friday. Yeah, I guess it's 3-minute Thursday. Mitchell, I do. And if any of you guys were wondering, this is where the magic happens. So right in there, that's the studio. But so many customers don't want their stuff on the internet. Well, true. A lot of liability stuff there. I get that. Mitchell, about 3 years. Yeah, the studio is just a old workshop. So the guy who we bought this house from, he ran a business out of this room. He did he built these big wood model remote control airplanes, and that's what he did. He built them in here. That closet used to have these big weird hangers, and that's where the wings sat, and he would lay the plane wings in that closet and stuff. So yeah, the humble studio. Thanks, Gil. Yeah. Freaking Power Wheels. We got them for the kids. I never got one when I was younger. It's one thing I always wanted. We never got. So yeah, sometimes you got to live through them. Well, anyway, I just felt like, by the way, big thanks to all you guys that are subscribed to the channel and stay engaged and reach out and stuff like that. I did cross 10,000 a week ago. I didn't get a video out on that, but really, that's incredible. I never thought in a million years, this channel would be anything like that. I was just having fun trying to, in the beginning, just make videos that made HVAC look cool, edit them kind of fancy and just kind of make it like an action movie. And man, it's turned into a lot more than that for me. And if I can keep some of you new guys pumped up about getting into this, well, then that's kind of what my main mission is. I'm not a super tech. I would even really just say I'm pretty average. I'm not a amazing tech by any means. So if I can at least get you guys fired up about it, then I've done my job. So 10,000, that's amazing. And actually we're at like 10.6 now since last week. I thought, oh, I'll wait a week, I'll do a video thanking everyone, and we're already around the corner from 11. So I appreciate that, all you guys in the comments there, Cincinnati Tech, and the other guys that just gave some comments there. I appreciate that. And to those of you that have written me emails and stuff, I get a lot of emails now, because I do put my email in the description. Instagram, direct messages. I thoroughly apologize if I'm way late or have even missed ever getting back. It's just a lot. There's a lot there. I'm not used to that, and I do my best to stay on top of getting back to you guys, at least something. A couple of you guys said you missed it. I'll kind of go over it real quick again, but yeah, I got a new van, guys. So I was just kind of showing what I've got so far. I'm starting from scratch on a layout, and it's got to be good because, I got that Facebook page. I gotta be a good example. So trying to get it off to a good start. So far I've kept the cab clean. Ain't really anything in there. But I will definitely be making a full feature edited version of this van once it's done. So for those of you that missed any of this, there'll be a much more in-depth total picture video once this is all done. So yeah, that's about it. Favorite tool, real simple. That's hard, man. That's too broad of a question. Hand tool, meter, I don't know. I don't even know where to start on that. Cincinnati 452. Sitting on the job. That's right, Justin. I'm trying to think, man. I mean, probably the tool I use more than anything is an 11-in-1, but I couldn't tell you that's my favorite tool necessarily. Yeah. It is, man. It is. I haven't smoked in 3 years, though, so that's good. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that, man. Clouds for days. Psych it. Is there a tube for spare pipe? Yeah. I forgot to show that. Adam White, no, that's just my first and middle initial. My name's Andrew Keith. My first and middle initial. A lot of guys think that. I'm not from Alaska. Yeah, they had the tube hooked up here for me to keep straight stock in there. So I'll be packing that soon. I already have I put some Unistrut in there that I found at the shop this morning, and some PVC and 1 1/8 and 1 3/8, 1 5/8 hard pipe I got in there right now. So I'll need to have some more of the smaller sizes. Jacob, don't put me on the spot like that, man. Best beard in HVAC. Well, I appreciate that. Real simple. Adam, I'll check my email here when I get done. Now, you want to talk about commercial, residential, different areas of the trade? I'll do that all day, Jacob. But one thing I don't want to do is get into that and start that whole can of worms. What I'll say is I respect everybody's choices on how they perform in this trade. It's going to depend where you live, the opportunities you have, the time you have, and what your long-term goals are. If you're wanting to be an entrepreneur or not. Residential, I did residential for like not even 2 years. Not even 2 years, man. Yeah, Gil, I'll hit you up after this. Real simple. Yep, I sure did. I did go to trade school. The micro video you did, man, I'm working on doing that. The micro video you made, I am working on doing that. What's the micro video, Justin? Yeah, Jacob, I mean, like for me, it's a national agreement for at some of the manufacturers, so with the pipe fitters union. So no judgment, and right back at you, Jacob. I mean, oh, Justin, you mean the small ProMaster City video? That was my brother-in-law. Mitchell and PVC cut. Yeah, you literally just got to go knock on the door, man, and ask. They got to take you from somewhere. You know what I mean? Nobody's just born a commercial guy or not, or a residential guy. It's just, and most schools are geared toward residential curriculums. So that being said, there has to be a point where companies that do residential work, or commercial work or bigger, there's a point where they have to just take people that have no experience doing it. So that's your in right there. And I've said that I have a video getting into getting your first job in HVAC, and I kind of talk about that a little bit. If you can, if you don't even know where to start, whose door to knock on, go to hospitals in the area. Go to hospitals, factories, universities in your area, and drive around back to where the cooling towers are. the air-cooled chillers, the big RTUs on the ground out there. What van, look at the vans that are parked out there. Those are the contractors that you need to go have a chat with. And there's definitely something to be said for a guy these days that goes in person and cold call, asks for a job, because everything's gone to online. And there's another level of personal ness to that. And there's plenty of company owners out there, mechanical contractors, that they'll see something in you a little bit above and beyond just by doing that. If you have the capability these days, in the generation that is coming of age to go to work right now, being able to look someone in the eye and is actually becoming pretty uncommon. So I'm telling you, man, just being able to talk like a man and walk up to somebody and shake their hand, look them in the face and say, look, I'm coming from residential work, but I work hard and I have the aptitude to do everything that your techs are doing every day. I'm live, Aaron. Yep, first time. First time. So far, so good. I think the phone froze up a few times in the beginning, but I think it's pretty smooth now. The only thing that's not smooth now is my hands. I keep shaking this camera. But a lot of that is missing from people new to the trades. For sure, man. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You gotta bypass the things on paper a lot. You go to any of these webs, and a lot of guys complain. They say, you think you can get your journeyman working residential? Do you mean like a UA journeyman card, like from the pipe fitters union, or do you mean like a state journeyman license? Because if you're talking about state license, you could of course most states you have to be a journeyman to do heating and air work in general, at least here where I am. I'm in Kentucky, but I know a lot of states I think are similar. I lost my train of thought there, what I was talking about. A lot of guys complain about job boards online, Indeed or Simply Hired, those kind of things, and say, they all say you need to have 5 years experience. You gotta have 5 years experience. I can't even get my foot in the door, or I can't. They want a resume. I don't have a resume put together. Dude, ignore all that shit. Walk in person to these places, and a lot of times that garbage goes out the window, because that's something that an HR person or someone high up, it's a boilerplate form on these job board websites, and they put all that crap on there because they're hoping, of course, they're gonna, if it's an employer's market and there's more employees out there than there are jobs, which there's not. We're in the reverse right now. There's more jobs than there are techs. So they throw those standard forms out there on the job postings because they're, of course they're going to try to get exactly what they want off the bat. But the reality is, you'll probably also notice those job posts are up there year round. They never come down, and it's because they can't find what they're looking for. So you going in, bypassing those steps, they're going to have somebody who's showing charisma and a willingness to learn and enough to come in person. They're going to forget about all those requirements really quick, because they're going to have somebody standing right in front of them physically that's ready to work. And I promise you, a lot of you guys that think there's no work out there or can't get hired or can't get an interview, that's how you do it. Dude, you got in trouble for that video with the dispatcher? There we go. They look it up. Yeah, they took it up the you know what. Well, yeah, if they got offended at that video, it means it was speaking to them. that was them in a nutshell right there. So if they can't have a sense of humor about that, then I don't know what to tell them. Oh. Anyway. So that's what I did. Sophomore. See? There you go, Isaiah. That's what you got to do. That's what people want to see these days. Everything's not personal anymore. It's all online. You're welcome, Mitchell. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. It does make it personal, Gil. And if you can hold a conversation and keep eye contact, I'm telling you, it's going to impress people. Make it yourself, Gil. That's what I do. Save a hell of a lot of money. No, I've never worked in Montana. I've driven through Montana. Yeah, the one upper tech was probably one of my favorite videos I ever made, man. Well, Adam, I'll tell you this: I never got past algebra in school. I mean, well, I did. I passed algebra, but that's as high as I ever got, and I do just fine. That's about as high as it gets. Just if you're just doing service work. I mean, you can go further into it and do more math than that if you want. Get more to engineering and design and stuff. But if you've got basic algebra, then you can solve most of the equations in our craft. There you go, Riley. I'm 32, Taryn. I know the beard and the bald head probably adds 10 years. I bet you all thought I was 46. But no, I'm 32. I'm a millennial, believe it or not. Can you be a good sales guy without lying? I think so. I think so. If you believe in your product, if you boil down sales, and I've never had a sales position. We all have a degree of sales in what we do, but as far as, you know, I've never been a salesman that's gotten commission at work. But all sales is, you take all the books, throw them out the window. It's a transfer of belief. That's all sales is. You believe something, which would be the product that you're pushing, and all you're doing is you're transferring the belief in that product to another person. So you should be able to do it without lying if you truly believe in the product. And at the end of the day, that's all sales is. Yeah. 17 doing PM, that guy busted my. There you go, Isaiah. That'll happen. Don't worry about people busting your ball. I got a couple emails about that too. Guys wrote me and they said that they're getting a hard time at work from guys because they're new and this and that. Don't worry about that. Don't even engage. Don't get into the verbal stuff. Live your life through your actions, man. Let your actions define you. Digital gauges. Man, the Vertic's still out, man. I really do like those P51 870s right now. But and you know what too? I can add that there was I had them in the rain yesterday. So a lot of guys I know were saying on Facebook and stuff, they were thinking they were too delicate and that, you know, the touch screen, this and that. Well, I was using it in a rainstorm and they didn't go berserk on me. The Adam, the money, that's largely going to depend where you are in the country. And then I would say very broadly, if you're just talking about an hourly basis as a service guy, you'll make more in, you know, commercial. But income potential is not, that doesn't mean it's always higher in commercial. So once you start adding commission and stuff like piecework with installs, you know, that changes everything. So you can make plenty of money doing residential as well, especially if you end up going and owning a company. Personally, I'm not opposed to certain types of side work. I don't personally engage in it really. But for me, it's not a moral thing as much as it is I don't feel like doing it. I work hard enough here doing what I do, and I want my time with my kids and stuff like that, my hobbies. So I am union Adam. But as far as side work, it's not. It doesn't compete with my employer, so they don't personally have issues with guys doing residential work. You know, as long as they've got their ducks in order. You know, like if I were to go get valid insurance for myself, I have a contractor, master mechanical license for the state I'm in. So if I was going to do side work at this point, I would do it as a legitimate side business. That's just me personally covering myself. So let's see. Man, thanks Aaron, thanks Jeff, man, that's awesome. Yeah, my hobby definitely is an HVAC. Casey, I do like it a lot. And I would say now it's more of a hobby just from doing all this stuff with YouTube now, because a lot of the production and the things involved with making videos and stuff, that's become a hobby in some ways. So, and since that's tied to HVAC, I guess you could say HVAC is a hobby of mine. Cool stuff, Isaiah. Aaron, that means a lot, man. Thank you. Let's see. I don't know if you guys keep hearing the knocking on the window. The little ones keep knocking down at me. What's going on, Tristan? Solder weld. Solder weld's good, man. They're great. I got them. I used all of it, man. I used the Silphos, the 56% here. The hot block's good, very good. Man, Zach, it was impromptu as hell. So I got a new van and I was excited. I wanted to share it. So it's not, most of the contents of my van are right here, Zach. So it'll be some time. I'll do a full video on that, but I figured I'd show everyone what I had so far. Yeah, Tommy, I haven't put a HVAC comedy video up since last Halloween, I think. It got really hard to keep that up. Isaiah, you said the cooling gel. Yeah. Thanks, John. Let's see if I got... You mean that stuff? I don't like it, honestly. Yeah, it can mix with a to a degree of it, Aaron. It can definitely mix with it to a degree, but much more than they said back in the day, that's for sure. Yeah, meaning you can have an R22 system if, like, say you were going to convert. Hold on a second. Dan, thanks, Tristan. Yeah, these are a game changer for me. Very messy, I know, man. This was done by our company, Aaron. This was the package, the shelving package that the company-wide, everybody's transitioning to these, the same upfit here. So, man, any of you guys that have been here since the minute I started this stream are probably bored as shit right now, and I apologize. I'm just kind of going around now, but I figured a lot of you came in a little later, so I'm putzing around here, at least while there's a couple questions there. How tall are the pullouts? You talking about these? HVAC man? About 8 1/4. About 8 1/4 to the top of the dividers. But technically, probably go as high as that latch. Yeah, about 9 inches is about what you could get away with putting in here. And that's why I had to put, like, if I wanted to put a lot of my cases that you see back there, I'd have to lie them down flat, and I don't like that. I like them being vertical. I want to know what the controls guys drive. They've always been Fords at our branch, Jeff. I know that some of them have Transits, some of them have it's another Ford, but it's a car, and I can't remember the name of it. Tristan, I got a 50-pound cylinder right in there in that cabinet. Where'd I get what, Gil? Mark, I'm sorry you're not seeing or hearing me. He said he's staring at a black screen. Yes, the Connect. Well, the Connect is one of them, the Transit Connect, but there's a small car too that it's not a Focus, but shit, I can't remember. It's a car though. And then some of them have the actually Colorados too. A couple of our guys do. The stickers, these are all 13 local 13. And this is a buddy of mine up in Rochester, New York. Matt, what's up? If you're seeing this, he sent these to me. We work for the same company, different branches. He's a great guy. And actually, he has the same exact van. So curious to see how he ended up loading it out too. But anyway, Mark, I'm sorry, man. He still doesn't see it. Can you do a video? Mitchell, if you Jacob, the stickers that my buddy Matt that I just told you has this van, his wife made the stickers for me. She makes stickers. So, and then, damn, there was another question. Yeah, the ropes, man. If you click on my videos tab and scroll all the way, or click on the little menu and says, you know, list the videos from oldest to new, the rope video is the first video I ever did. Thanks a lot, Jonathan Vigil. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for watching. Shane, are you on? All right. Yeah, I do that like once a week now, man. I'll go approve you after I get off here. I've been really bad about staying on top of that. Lost my train of thought again. Oh yeah, the video about the ropes. It's not a good video. I shot it in portrait, and I zip tied my phone to a pole, and I shot the video like that. Gil, the drawers are from Adrian Steele. They were part of this whole upfit kit for the van. I'll reach out to him, Jacob. Like I said, his wife made them for me. She can make whatever, I think, when it comes to stickers. I've been up to Milwaukee. Actually, it was earlier this year. I went to a class for YPAL, which, God, what a Anyway, but yeah, I went to the YPOW class up there in Milwaukee. Isaiah, it's going to be like any other, situation. You'll have some interviews. Only difference is you may have to take a placement test depending how you get in. If you actually are just applying to the hall directly, or if you try to sweeten up to a contractor first enough to where they push for you to get in, and then you just get in. 410 and 22 Mitchell. I don't do really any refrigeration or anything like that. So once in a while, do some equipment. They may have 134 or I've used 404A a few times. I've done a couple things here and there, but it's far and few in between. It could be both, Isaiah. You apply, and then there's often a placement test, depending what local you're going out of. Can't stand up all the way, man, inside the van. I have the and whoever was just asking about the MB2, it's right there. I've been using it as my camera bag for all my little, YouTube gear on service calls. So I cannot stand up in this, but I can crouch and walk. Kind of crouch walk all the way through pretty easily. So that's all I have in there right now. And it is hard as shit to close this thing. I don't know why it's so hard to. Damn. No, Aaron, I did not. It was really pretty much just an infantry role in the Marines. Didn't do any. If I was smart, I would have done a trade and started back then, but I didn't. As far as I know, Marine Corps doesn't have a HVAC specific MOS. They have like a utilities MOS, I think, where you. Yeah, John, the old vans at the Ford dealership gonna get turned in for auction. That thing was beat to hell. Can I take a video of that glass system I was talking about? Are you talking about the York trainer? My van has like 50 miles on it. It's brand new. So I haven't put that. I'm still trying to get our hall to let me have that trainer to put in the studio room. I have the receivers right now. I have them in here because I pulled that machine apart to clean it and refurbish it. Let me see. Well, turn the light on here. This is the flooded evaporator, and then there's a receiver as well. So there's a float switch in here that acts as the metering device, and it maintains a certain level of liquid in there, and it's just bolted, flanged in there. I just haven't had time to get over there and monkey around with it. But that was an R11 system, so all the tubing was glass, and it's clear because it was off a training unit, so it was designed for students to see, different phases of refrigerant. And yeah, it was very cool. But yeah, it had several modes it can be operated in. There's different valves, and you can make it run as a heat pump or as a let's see. Yeah, actually, I meant to say R12. It is an R12 system, and that's why they were able to do it with the glass, because it's not high pressure enough to where you could just use pretty much O-rings and glass tubes in the whole system to keep it sealed. Aaron, I have my Kentucky journeyman license and Kentucky master license. I just need to get my insurance activated in order to have my master license activated. I just don't have a need for that right now. I'm not coming out of pocket for that insurance if I'm not, you know, working as a independent business. So really, Gil? I didn't know that, man. I know there's like a utility MOS where they dabble in it, and they're like the guys that set up the generators and any, you know, plumbing, heating and cooling for, like, you know, tent cities and stuff, little fobs. And Mark, I wonder if that's because I'm actually shooting this live video from my phone, and I wonder if that has anything to do with you not having been able to watch this on a PC. I don't know. It's my first time doing it. Mitchell, you don't need a gas license here in Kentucky to work with gas. So I don't need a, I work with gas already, and I know a lot of states have a separate gas license, and I know in Canada they have those gas fitter licenses and stuff. You do need a, well, there is a medical gas license that you can get for doing hospitals and stuff like that, but if you're just talking about LP, natural gas appliances or heating equipment, yeah, I can work with that with just a journeyman license. I like all the little cup holders. Never have enough cup holders. Nope, you don't need a license for steam either. Now, you need a boiler license here in Kentucky if you're installing boilers. You don't need any license beyond an HVAC license to service. No, you do not, Nick. There was talk about that, having some kind of low voltage license here in Kentucky to do that, which would have been insane. But no, as of right now, we have no such requirement. What's going on, HVAC man 77? Is that right, Jeff? I know you needed, I know you always needed a boiler license to install. I do it both, Mitchell, just depending on the season. AC in the winter, or AC in the summer, heat in the winter. Although I do a lot of air conditioning in the winter as well, because I do a lot of data stuff, you know, that, or, you know, hospitals, schools, a lot of commercial buildings need cooling year round. Yeah, sorry about that, Gil. Yeah, if I had known about it, and if I had any idea this is what I'd be doing with my life, I would have jumped on that when I was in the service. But I was sure that I'd be a lifer in the Corps, and then if I did get out, I just assumed I was only cut out for law enforcement based off what I did, you know, in the military. So anyway, he kind of hung up the frequent YouTube videos, Mitchell. I guess he was having some issues with some guys in the comments. I guess some of them reached out to his office where he works, and I think he just kind of took a step back. Man, Brad, welcome, dude. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, dude. It's been a good time. Yeah, if you're just getting in here, man, I was just showing I got a new van. I'm excited like a little kid. I'm late to the party of getting these new European vans. So I was just showing everybody what I had kind of gotten going so far. Most of the van is still on my garage floor. So just figured I'd enjoy it while it was really clean looking. But oh yeah. NorCal's awesome, man. Definitely one of my favorite channels too, man. Do they handle the weight of what, Nick? Or does what handle the weight of what? Thanks, Blue Collar. We'll definitely have a full video once I get it all dialed in, but for now I'm just kind of playing around with a couple options here. And any of you guys that have watched my other van videos, I'm a big fan of using wood where I can. It's just a very economical way of tricking it out the way you want it. Ha! Yeah, I know, Mark. I still got them. I don't see the downside in keeping a set. Now, I'm also not one of the guys that thinks there's no place for digital, but I'm right in the middle, man. I think having both is great. They both work in their own situations. You know what? I was on a roof 2 days ago, and I was using those P51s, and I went to the bathroom, or I went and did something. I came back, screen was blank, and the battery had died. So perfect concept of, you know, where there's still a place for an analog gauge here and there. Exactly. Yep. But I do love technology, man. But I'm not going to just let go of things that will hold up when batteries fail. So that's why I got a lot of doubles of everything with analog and digital versions. I still have, like I said, I got an analog megger. I still use an analog megger to check my field piece. I have the little digital field piece megger, and I'll still a lot of times double check it with my amp probe, which is the old style amp probe. Yeah, man, I learned rope work all over the place. I learned some in the military, some, I don't know, just throughout my life in the trades as a kid. Yep. That's a lot of guys hate that. I'm just used to it now, and it's how I prefer to store them. That would all be with my employer, Chris. I really don't know. I've never been in a wreck in a work vehicle. I don't know, man. Mitchell, I have a love-hate with VRF, period. So yeah, I've done work with Daikin as well, and I don't know if when you say you're working on it now, if you mean in a service capacity or a new installation. But when they're done right, they're pretty damn cool. When you're coming behind a contractor that mucked it up, they're a nightmare. I want nothing to do with it when it's that situation. But yeah, I keep the inverter analyzer. This is Daikin's right here. So you can tell it was made in Japan. It's just a box, and after you hook up your leads, you put it in inverter check mode, and it just sends a simulated signal to these terminals, and it literally just lights up okay or not good, NG. I thought that was funny when I got it, because it looks like something you could almost make from Radio Shack. But there's my amp probe maker. Love that thing. Evan, not officially. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Not officially. But let's just remember that company policies aren't going to impact me if there's a situation that I require something like that. Yeah, those are long shelves, Blue Collar. They're great. They're a game changer for me. Jeff, there was a Radio Shack in Lexington till last year. I think it just now finally closed. The van came how it was, guys. I didn't get these drawers myself. This whole van came upfitted like this from this big Adrian Steel package from my employer. Mitchell, I do believe if you want to give your customers the certain warranty situations, then yeah, I think you do need to have gone to their commissioning class. I went to it a while ago. I can't remember how long it lasts, or if you, I don't think you have to renew anything. You just have to go to the install and commissioning once, I think. No, not every tool is mine, but a lot of them are. Yeah, Kenny. This time I have a much narrower situation though, so I've already measured. It's 37 inches from rail to rail, so I will be ripping down a piece of plywood and sliding it up to that cabinet as soon as I get some time. Yeah, I was a huge fan of that. I would never go back to not having that. It gave me so many options. It's so much easier to slide equipment in and out. You gotta, you know, slide an air handler or a compressor. And then I also, you know, was able to mount D-rings wherever I wanted, without worrying about damaging the floor of the vehicle, and strap stuff down more securely. D-ram, I can't remember. I think I had 3/4 inch in the last van, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get 3/4 inch under that shelving. I think I'll have to go with something a little smaller. Nick, I've never done a Daikin Doaz. We do have some York Doaz in the area though. Tools, God, man, thousands. I couldn't tell. I've never gone through and actually tried to calculate how much I've spent on tools, but I mean, it's thousands. Yep, not a cheap. For those of you guys thinking of jumping in, it is not a cheap trade to be involved in. That's for sure. I don't know any other trade where you need to use the same, you know, $3,000 worth of tools to change a big ass compressor as you do if you wanted to change, you know, a $10 filter dryer. You need the same damn tools, the same process for all of it. So nothing cheap about it, guys. John, I'd say you're pretty close, man. That's average. That's probably a pretty good average, 10K, especially if you're 100% outfitting yourself. Because like where my company, they take care of the big stuff, and technically they take care of everything, but some of it I don't care for, so I use my own. But if you're airing industrial work, depending, it's going to depend, man. If you're going to be like if all you're going to do, like say, was, you know, big centrifugal chillers, stuff like that, you're going to have a whole other tool layout, and a lot of that will probably need to be paid for from your company. And you're talking about humongous wrenches and a lot of rigging stuff, a lot of big chain falls and big stuff like that, and big impacts. What are you talking, Gil? I got so much room for so many activities. I have so much room for activities in here. Trying to catch up on some of these comments. Same ass load of heavy stuff no matter what. Yep, you're damn right, Mark. That's literally what I hate the most about HVAC. Literally. If I ever do get thoughts of wanting to just quit what I do, usually it's because of how much crap I got to carry back and forth, no matter what I'm doing. I gotta stop putting my thumb over the camera to scroll through comments. I've never done work for Simco, Mitchell. Yes, it does need a Vangina plate, Dave. FCC, I'm right in the middle. I'm in Kentucky, so we get pretty moderate climate of we get winter and summer. The brand of my rigging equipment. Now, if you mean chain falls and stuff like that, we have a bunch of just kind of random stuff, like my harness and all that kind of thing. The one harness I have right now is Protecta. I got a bucket. I'll have to look at the chain falls and come alongs and stuff like that. You like the hats? Well, Aaron, if you like the specific one I have, you Solder Weld does have them on their site. Use AKHVAC 20% off, so it makes it like, I don't know, 11 bucks, something like that. Yeah, Nick. Nick, there's a 1,000 watt. I think it's 1,000 watt. It's at least 1,000 watt inverter with like 8 outlets throughout the van, including the back. No, Mitchell, I don't have any. I don't have that level of pride yet in what I'm doing. I don't have any personal merchandise. We'll see. We'll see. It's like, what would I have, right? A silhouette with a beard, which Steve's already doing that, and a lot of other companies outside HVAC have that same kind of concept of a beard silhouette. So I don't want to wear that out. Aaron, it's just my first and middle initial. Yes, a lock of Donna's hair, John. I'll keep it in mind, Mitchell. Maybe at some point that's a viable route for me to take, but I don't know if what I have here is much of a brand versus just a guy hanging out with other guys in the trade. We'll see. Yeah, man, a lot of people think that. I've never been to Alaska. It's just my first and middle initial, Andrew Keith. So what else you got, guys? Anything going on? I got my my 10% phone warning. So I've been kind of bloviating the last hour now. I can't believe it's over an hour now. Nick, it's a good idea, but no, I don't. It'd probably be something I'd have to invest myself. I don't think anybody else in the company has them in their vans. Nope, I didn't come from the old York guys, Lee. I came after, way after the merger. What do I think of ductwork as an HVAC guy? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do I like doing it? I wish I had had more exposure to it early on. I'm not a great sheet metal guy. It's definitely something I'm lacking in. So I have what you would call a serviceman's capability with sheet metal, which means not that good. I can get it done. I can do what you want for the most part with it. I can make a sort of a transition. You know, I can add duct runs, I can replace duct work, but I wouldn't say I can make it real pretty. Exactly, DRAM. Exactly. Definitely something I'm envious of. Again, I wish I never had a mentor in that area. I didn't have some guy that showed me the old ways of working with metal. Besides, for the most part, they have our guys go to we got a shop in town that fabricates most of our stuff, so you can forget about it. If it's not just a furnace transition, you can probably forget about me being able to make it without some kind of external source of help, whether that's YouTube, which there's not a lot out there on YouTube to learn it. There is a guy in North Carolina, you know, he's in Virginia, and he has an online, well, he has a website online, but he has a school for sheet metal and hand making transitions and fittings and stuff. I would love to do that. I've been thinking about giving him a call and asking him if he'd maybe let me come if I made a great video for him, maybe give his school some exposure. Yeah, isn't that amazing, Lee? At the end of the day, my work usually looks pretty good because I just wrap the shit out of it, and once that's all done, it all kind of looks the same, doesn't it? I agree, DRAM. It's a skill I'm envious of that takes years, I think, to probably get down to perfection. Yeah, I sure am, Ty. What's going on, man? I got to come to the shop and borrow the label maker again, though, because I gave it back to Joe. But yeah, once I get this all laid out, because again, for those of you that aren't in here, 80% of my van is right there on the ground of the garage. So once this is all dialed in, I will label everything. Thanks so much, Nick. I appreciate that. And there was a guy a while back that did that too, and I missed the name before it scrolled up. Not at all why I did this live thing tonight. I just felt I was way overdue on getting something to you guys, interacting in some way. I hadn't had time to make a full video, and that's really how I really appreciate that, guys. Do you recommend working for the particular company you work for? Yeah, I mean, it's been good for me. It's an OEM. You know, I work for a manufacturer, so that has its own perks. It has its own downfalls. It has its own limitations. And it's a different culture. So when you work for a company this big, it's international, and you know, there's something to be said sometimes about a small company that can move quicker with the times, and yeah, I don't know. I can get off on a tangent about that, but there's good and both to everything, man. It's good and bad to everything. Yep, a lot of politics, that's for sure. That's awesome, Mark. Again, I would love, if I didn't have to take what would probably be a big pay cut, I'd go work in a metal shop for the summer. Just the experience of learning some of that firsthand. Yeah, James, but I think the upside, like I said, there's good and bad to everything. I think the upside is getting to see, you know, if you do have that entrepreneurial bone in your body and are looking to do that yourself one day, I would say working for a company like that is your best on the job training for life in business. You know, um, my current this what I do now um, does not prepare me for being a businessman down the road. I would have a lot to learn. Hey, Gil, I'll reach out. I'll hit you up soon, man. See you later, man. I can't believe you tuned in this long. Trying to see here if I got. Well, fellas, I just minimized the screen and I have the big 1%. So it's been great. This is really cool. Like I said, this is my first time doing a live. If y'all were into this, man, I'll do these more often. If you just want to shoot the shit, and it won't always necessarily be a van tour, but I do have this cool fire pit right here, and I would love to sit out here, get a fire, and just, you know, talk with you guys and see what's going on, and you know, whatever. But it was a good time, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It was a good little confidence boost. I thought this was going to be a disaster because I figured I wouldn't even know how to get on live, period. But good shit. Anyways, guys, stay tuned for this. I'll be spending the next week probably getting it all dialed in and a full feature edited film put together with the B-roll footage and some hyped up music and all the other jazz that I try to throw into these little productions. But anyways, guys, great talking with you. I guess it's a live stream, not a full video, but I'll say so. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.